Om Ajnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. We will start from where we left. It was the third canto, ninth chapter, shloka number 18. Okay. Yasmad bhivem maham api dviparardadishyam atyasita sakala loka namaskritam yad tepe tapo bahusavo um, varurut manas tasmai tamo bhagavate di makhaya tubhyam. Okay. Translation: Your Lordship, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you who are indefatigable time and the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Although I am situated in an abode which will continue to exist for a time duration of 2 parardas, although I am the leader of all other planets in the universe, and although I have undergone many, many years of penance for self realization, still I offer my respects unto you. So it's a very nice prayer which Brahma is telling, that we can never say that I have achieved so many things, I have become so great, I don't need to worship the Lord, or I don't need to pay my respects to the Lord. So here Brahma is telling that he is having a very, very long lifespan. In the word to word translation, it is mentioned Dviparardha means like four. It is like 430 crores into 2 into 30 into 12 into 100. So this is 430 crores is the daytime of Brahma, and equivalent of that is the night time of Lord Brahma. 430 crore years is no our calculation of years. 430 crore of it is the daytime, one daytime of Lord Brahma. An equivalent is night, so that is into 2, and 1 month consists of 30 days, that is into 30, and then 1 year consists of 12 months, that is into 12. So till there it's calculation of 1 year of Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma lives such 100 years, so it becomes so like long. So this is called Dvipararda. So this Dvipararda, so Lord Brahma is telling, I am living for such a long period of time, and then I am having control of all the planets in the universe, and no, especially within this universe there is no one as powerful as Lord Brahma. So he's really very powerful, and he's the leader of everyone. And in that kind of condition, no, Lord Brahma is telling that still I'm offering my respects to you. No, this is how Lord Brahma is actually putting himself, right? So because the Supreme Lord Krishna is even more greater than, the greatest personalities within the universe. Purport: Brahma is the greatest personality in the universe because he has the longest duration of life. He is the most respectable personality because of his penance, influence, prestige, etc. And still he has to offer his respectful obeisances unto the Lord. Therefore, it is incumbent upon all others who are far, far below the standard of Brahma to do as he did and offer respects as a matter of duty. Text 19. Triyan Manusya Vibhudash Vibhuda Dishu Jiva Yonishva Atmechayatma कृतसेतु परीक्षयायः रेमे निरस्तविषयोऽपि अवरुद्धदेहस्तस्मै नमो भगवते पुरुषोत्तमाय. O my Lord, by your own will, you appear in the various species of living entities amongst animals lower than human beings, as well as amongst the demigods to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligation of your own principles of religion, and therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms. Purport: the Lord's incarnations in different species of life are all transcendental. He appears as a human being in his incarnation of Krishna, Rama, etc., but he is not a human being. Anyone who mistakes him for an ordinary human being is certainly not very intelligent. Um, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:11, avajananti ma muda manushim tanumashritam. The same principle is applicable when he appears as the hog or fish incarnations. They are transcendental forms of the Lord and are manifested under certain necessities of his own pleasure and pastimes. Such manifestations of the transcendental form of the Lord are accepted by him mostly to enliven his devotees. All his incarnations are manifested whenever there is a need to deliver his pure devotees and maintain his own principles. Text 20. Yo vidyayanu pahato pi dada dasharda vritya nidram uvaha jatari कृतलोकयार्थ अंतर्जले हि कशिपु स्पर्शानुकूलं विमोर्मिमालिनी जनस्य सुखं विवृण्वन्. My Lord, you accept the pleasure of sleeping in the water of devastation, where there are violent waves, and you enjoy the pleasure on the bed of snakes, showing the happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. At that time, all the universal planets are stationed within your abdomen. So whenever this no this one of water of devastation comes, so we should understand that it is during the time of pralaya, and during the time of pralaya that everything gets destroyed, and then everything enters into the body of this Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So like all the at that time all the universal planets are stationed within your abdomen, right? And from the abdomen only comes the lotus flower, the next creation. And when the lotus flower comes, then all the universes again, so all the planetary no this one actually comes back, all the planets. Okay, purport. Persons who cannot think of anything beyond the limit of their own power are like frogs in a well who cannot imagine the length and breadth of the great Pacific Ocean. Such people take it as legendary when they hear that the Supreme Lord is lying on his bed within the great ocean of universe. They are surprised that one can lie down within water and sleep very happily. But a little intelligence can mitigate this foolish astonishment. There are many living entities within the bed of the ocean who also enjoy the material bodily activities of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. If such insignificant living entities can enjoy life within the water, why can't the Supreme Lord, who is all powerful, sleep on the cool body of a serpent and enjoy in the turmoil of the violent ocean waves? The distinction of the Lord is that his activities are all transcendental and he is able to do anything and everything without being deterred by limitations of time and space. He can enjoy his transcendental happiness regardless of material considerations. Right? So this is very nice thing that sometimes people say like, no, how can anybody take pleasure or rest in the like turbulent ocean? So Prabhupada puts a very nice argument that in the aquatics in the ocean, so they are all peaceful. So when ordinary living entities can be like that, then why not the Supreme Lord? He can definitely be. And the Lord's activities are beyond our imagination. And just because it's beyond our imagination, that's why He's Lord. If everything that He does is within our imagination, so then the Lord can fit within our thought process. So that is not possible. The Lord is much, much more beyond. Okay. So here we see next sloka, text 21. Yenna bipatma bhavanad aham asamidya lokatrayopakarno yadanugrahena tasmai namasta udarasta bhavaya yoga nidravasana vikasan nalinekshanaya. O object of my worship, I am born from the house of your lotus navel for the purpose of creating the universe by your mercy. All these planets of the universe are stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you were enjoying sleep. Now, your sleep having ended, your eyes are open like blossoming lotuses in the morning. So when the Lord sleeps, then everything is finished. So even when Brahma sleeps, everything is finished, right? So like that. No, this sleep means destruction. Sleep means whenever we are sleeping, no, we are actually not doing a great thing. How much ever is required for us to rejuvenate, we should sleep. But then, no, sleep is just a destruction. Okay. Purport. Brahma is teaching us the beginning of Archana regulation from morning 4 o'clock to night 10 o'clock. Early in the morning, the devotee has to rise from his bed and pray to the Lord. And there are other regulative principles of offering Mangala Arati early in the morning. Foolish non devotees, not understanding the importance of Archana, criticize the regulative principles, but they have no eyes to see that the Lord also sleeps by his own will. The impersonal conception of Supreme is so detrimental to the path of devotional service that it is very difficult to associate with the stubborn non devotees who always think in terms of material conceptions. So impersonalists always think backwards. They think that because there is form in matter, spirit should be formless. Because in matter there is sleep, in the spirit there cannot be sleep. And because the sleeping of the deity is accepted in the Archana worship, Archana is Maya. These are all logics that impersonalists actually put. All these thoughts are basically material. To think either positively or negatively is still thinking materially. Knowledge accepted from the superior source of Vedas is standard. Here in these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, we find that Archana is recommended. Before Brahma took up the task of creation, he found the Lord sleeping on the serpent bed in the waves of the ocean of devastation. Therefore, sleeping exists in the internal potency of the Lord. And this is not denied by pure devotees of the Lord, like Brahma and his disciplic succession. It is clearly said here that the Lord slept very happily within the violent waves of the water, manifesting thereby that he is able to do anything and everything by his transcendental will and not be hampered by any circumstances. The Mayavadi cannot think beyond this material experience, and thus he denies the Lord's ability to sleep within the water. His mistake is that he compares the Lord to himself, and that comparison is also a material thought. The whole philosophy of Mayavad school, based on not this, neti, neti, is basically material. Such thought cannot give one chance to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is. No, the neti neti process means no iti, means not this, like not this, not that. So, Neti, if you see that if I negate a material thing, the result what comes is also a material thing. No, I cannot understand spiritual thing by negating material things. Or material things have form, that means spiritual things should not have form. It doesn't necessarily be like that. No, matter is not completely opposite to spirit. Matter is a different entity, and spirit is a different entity. No, spirit has its way of working, and matter has its way of working. In some places, yeah, no, matter is full of misery and spirit is full of happiness. So some places the opposites can exist, but then we cannot say that everything opposite of material is spiritual. No, that's a very very what is that, shallow argument, we can say. It's not a very sound argument. Okay, text 22. Soyam samasta jagatam suhrudeka atma satvena yanmridayate bhagavan bhagena tenaiva medrisham anusprishattad yathaham sak uh, sarkshami purvavad idam pranata priyosau. Let the Supreme Lord be merciful towards me. He is the one friend and soul of all living entities in the world, and he maintains all for their ultimate happiness by his six transcendental opulences. May he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create, for I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord. Okay, nice prayer. Purport. The Supreme Lord Purushottama or Sri Krishna is the maintainer of all in both the transcendental and material worlds. He is the life and friend of all because there is eternally natural affection and love between the living entities and the Lord. He is the one friend and well-wisher of for all, and he is one without a second. The Lord maintains all the living entities everywhere by his six transcendental opulences, for which he is known as Bhagavan or Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma prayed for his mercy so that he might be able to create the universal affairs as he did before. Only by the Lord's causeless mercy could he create both material and spiritual personalities like Marichi and Narada, respectively. Brahma prayed to the Lord because he is very much dear to the surrendered souls. The surrendered soul knows nothing but the Lord, and therefore the Lord is very affectionate towards him. So very nice. This one, it's no Brahma is not only creating the material things, he's also creating such spiritual personalities like Marichi and Narada, who are liberated souls, who are very highly elevated souls, and like such personalities are also created by Lord Brahma. So we can imagine like Brahma is a very very powerful entity and personality. Okay. Text 23, Esha Prapannavarado Ram Ramayatmasakya Yat Yat Kriyashyati Grihita Gunavataraha Tasmin Swakikramam Idam Shajatopi Cheto Yunjita Karma Samalam Chayatha Vijahyam Vijahyam actually. Okay, translation. The Supreme Personality, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, or goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of material world, and I pray that I not be materially affected by my works, and for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. So here we see that very important aspect. No, Lord Brahma is telling, doing big things is not a great like not very great. So doing everything and remaining very humble, that yes, only because of the Lord's mercy I'm able to do something. No, that is humility. Humility means it is closer to the reality. No, but then pride means it is away from reality. So we are able to do things because of the mercy of the Lord, but if we think that, oh, this is because of my capacity, then it becomes pride. No, when we say no, it is all by the mercy of the Lord. So then we are in the real position. So that is called humility. So no, humility doesn't mean that some other like some feeling that is putting us down oneself and things like that. No, it is not like that. So humility is not putting us down. Humility is getting closer to reality. No, that is the humility. So like pride means like it's falsity actually. No, it is not truth. So if Brahma thinks that he is the creator and how well he has created and things like that, so then it is a matter of pride. So in the same way, if we also think that how great I am and things like that, so then it is a matter of pride. So then this it is not called as humility, right? So humility means that which comes closer to reality. Now wherein now we see that here Brahma is saying that it's all by your mercy, Lord, and I may be able to I may be blessed to create, and then even while creating, let me not no take it that no I am doing all these things. So let me be in a humble mood, and let me not have the false prestige of being the creator. So it's a very nice this one. We can constantly remember about this. Purport. In the matter of material creation, maintenance, and destruction, there are three incarnations of the material modes of nature, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. But the Lord's incarnation as Vishnu in his internal potency is the supreme energy for the total activities. Brahma, who's only an assistant in the modes of creation, wanted to remain in his actual position as an instrument of the Lord instead of becoming puffed up by false prestige of thinking himself the creator. That is the way of becoming dear to the Supreme Lord and receiving his benediction. Foolish men want to take credit of all creations made by them, but intelligent persons know very well that not a blade of grass can move without the will of the Lord. Thus, all the credit for wonderful creation must go to Him. By spiritual consciousness only can one be free from contamination of material affection and receive the benedictions offered by the Lord. So very very nice point actually. Now if we if we don't cultivate this quality of humility, so then it's very difficult for us to uh, progress in Krishna consciousness. The third stanza of Sikshashtakam, every day we chant during our morning japa time. So in the third stanza it is mentioned that if we develop this attitude of humility, then we will be able to chant the names of the Lord constantly. No, otherwise it is not possible for us to chant the names of the Lord for a long time. So the crux is that a humble person, he can. I think even in Christianity, this is mentioned that Jesus told this. I suppose the humble and meek shall inherit the kingdom of God. So that means no, it is only for them. No, they attain spiritual success, not a person who is very proud of himself. Text 24. Nabi hradad iha sato ambasi yasya pumsho vijnana shakti rahamasam ananta sakthehe रूपम विचित्रमिदमस्य विवृण्वतो मे मा रीरिषि मा मीरि शीष्ट निगमस्य गिरां विसर्गः. The Lord's potencies are innumerable, and He lies down in the water of devastation. I am born as the total universal energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in manifesting His diverse energies in the form of the cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibrations of Vedic hymns. Very, very amazing sloka. Again in the same lines, as he doesn't want to be proud of, and then he's Brahma is telling very nicely that it is his origin is from the navel of the Supreme Lord, and then he is the what is that total universal energy. Brahma is the total universal energy, and then he is engaged in manifesting various energies of the Lord in the cosmic manifestation. So when the creation happens, no, Brahma is very very clear, though he is doing, no, he is very clear, he is just no paving way for Lord's energies to no get exhibited. So Lord has this wonderful way of doing things, though it is all his energy, and it can work on his command, but still he puts his devotees and in place in respective positions, and then he allows them to use his energy and to manifest them. And no, that's the way we get engaged in the service of the Lord. So when we get engaged in service of the Lord, we should never think, oh, I am doing this service, and if I don't do this, no, then the Lord will not get this service. No, the Lord will get his things done. He can do it everything himself also without any extraneous effort. He can aram say he can do everything, but then he is giving us something just so that we can be engaged. No, that is the way we can be engaged, and so he's giving us something. And here Brahma is telling that no, he's having this idea that. No, I'm not the no, I'm just the facilitator, and it is all the energy of the Lord, it is all the mercy of the Lord, it's everything happening because of that. And no, this another aspect of humility is that we are not deviating from the Vedic sound vibration, no, Vedic scriptures. So every day we are reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So why? Because we don't want to deviate from the sound vibration. No, if our thought process overpowers us, then we are proud. And if we do things based on what is being told in the scriptures, and if we constantly remember the Vedic scriptures, and then recite them, and then relish the meaning of the Vedic scriptures, then we are humble. right? So this is another way of putting up the this one of being without false pride, so and being in the attitude of humility. So it is like it can be synonymous to always constantly remembering the Vedic instructions, right? Okay, purport. Every person engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord in this material world is prone to so many material activities. And if one is not strong enough to protect himself against the onslaught of material affection, he may be diverted from spiritual energy. In the material creation, Brahma has to create all kinds of living entities with bodies suitable to their material conditions. Brahma wants to be protected by the Lord because he has to contact many vicious living entities. As ordinary Brahmana may fall from the Brahma Tejas or power of Brahmanical excellence due to his association with many fallen conditioned souls, Brahma, as the supermost Brahmana, is afraid of such a fall down, and therefore he prays to the Lord for protection. So it's a very instructive thing that we may develop Krishna consciousness, and then but in this world we may have to meet with so many people, and they may not be in the very good consciousness, and they can actually pull our consciousness down. So and it is inevitable. We have to deal with people in this world, and even as a matter of service, we are asked to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. So we have to meet with people of this world, and they can actually pull our consciousness down. So we should always constantly pray to the Lord that may my consciousness be protected by you. No, you please protect my consciousness all the time. I will always be engaged in your service, and no, please you protect my consciousness. So this is a nice prayer that is offered. And in fact, even Prahlad Maharaj also offers similar kind of a prayer. He says that I'm fully surrounded with demoniac association. No, please protect my consciousness. I want to always be your devotee, right? So in this way, he actually prays. Okay, this is a warning for one and all in the spiritual advancement of life. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessings to carry out one's duty. Lord Chaitanya also entrusted his missionary work to his devotees and assured them of his protection against the onslaught of material affection. The path of spiritual life is stated in the Vedas to be like the edge of a sharpened razor. A little inattentiveness may at once create havoc and bloodshed, but one who is a completely surrendered soul, always seeking protection from the Lord, is in the discharge of his entrusted duties, has no fear of falling into material contamination. Right? So this is a very nice thing. Even if we are doing some service, we are engaged in the service of the Lord, still we should always seek protection from the Lord, of not thinking that I am doing the service. That's one kind of a fall. And another kind of a fall is that if we are in the process of rendering service, we are meeting with people of low consciousness, and our consciousness gets pulled down. No, we pray to the Lord that also we may be protected. So in this way, we should constantly be praying to the Lord, for our protection and well-being. So otherwise, it is not possible for us to keep a healthy Krishna conscious attitude. So material things are so much alluring. Very easily we can fall prey to the material things. So it is very, very important for us to keep a solid Krishna consciousness. Okay, text 25. सोऽश्व अभद्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेमस्मितेन नयनां बुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय च नो विषादं मा माधव्या गिरापनयथात् पुरुषपुराणाः. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that He may smilingly bestow His benedictions upon me by opening His lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking His directions. So Lord Brahma is praying for the Garbhodaksha Vishnu he is praying to, and he is telling that, no, may I get the merciful glance of the Supreme Lord, and then no, he can actually uplift the whole cosmic creation just by giving his directions, just by his speech. Purport: The Lord is ever increasingly merciful upon the fallen souls of this material world. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotional service to the Lord, and everyone is meant for that purpose. The Lord expands himself into many personalities who are either self expansions or separated expansions. The personalities of individual souls are his separated expansions, whereas the self expansions are the Lord himself. We had discussed quite a few times that Swa Amsha, the self expansions, are Vishnu Tattvas, and Vibhinna Amsha, or his separated expansions, are the Jiva Tattvas. Both kind of expansions are there. The self expansions are predominators, and the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. So, like that means the self expansions or Swa Amsha is the Lord and the Master, and then the Vibhinna Amsha, all of us, we are meant to serve the Supreme Lord, and then in that way, the Lord is the complete form of bliss and knowledge, and then we by serving Him, we will also become blissful and knowledgeable. The liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of predominator and predominated, that is the master and the servant, without materially concocted ideas. The typical example of such a transcendental exchange between the predominator and the predominated is the Lord's Rasa Leela with the gopis. The gopis are predominated expansions of internal potency, and therefore the Lord's participation in the Rasa Leela dance is never to be considered like the mundane relationship of man and women. It is rather the highest perfectional stage of exchange of feelings between the Lord and the living entities. The Lord gives the fallen souls the chance for this highest perfection of life. Lord Brahma is interested with the management of the complete cosmic show, and therefore he prays that the Lord bestows his blessings upon him so that he may execute its purpose. Okay, text 26. Maitreya Uvacha Swasambhavam Nisha Swasambhavam Nishamyaivam Tapo Vidya Samadhibihi Yavan Mano Vacha Stutva Virarama Sa Kinnavad. Okay, so now, like stopping Brahma's discussion, like no, or Maitreya Muni only was speaking about the Brahma's prayers, and now he stopped speaking about Brahma's prayers, and this is something that he spoke himself. No, translation: The sage Maitreya said, "O Vidura, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus, having prayed, he became silent as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge, and mental concentration." Purport: Brahma's enlightenment in knowledge was due to the Lord sitting within his heart. After being created, Brahma could not ascertain the source of his appearance, but after penance and mental concentration, he could see the source of his birth, and thus he became enlightened through his heart. The spiritual master outside and the spiritual master within are both representations of the Lord. So this is called the spiritual master outside is the personality, who is giving us the diksha and then who is guiding us and things like that and all. So such spiritual master, is a representative of the Lord, and there is a spiritual master within, who is the Paramatma, who is also called as the Chaitya Guru. So he is also a representative of the Lord. So both of them, both internally and externally, we are guided always by the Lord. Okay. Okay. Unless one has contact with such bona fide representations, one cannot claim to be a spiritual master. Lord Brahma, hmm, okay. Lord Brahma had no opportunity to take help of a spiritual master from outside because at that time Brahma himself was the only creature in the universe. Therefore, on becoming satisfied by the prayers of Brahma, the Lord enlightened him about everything from within. Right? So he didn't have the option of taking a spiritual master outside because he was the only one existing at that point in time. So, but then the Lord became the spiritual master Just like the Lord became the spiritual master of Arjuna, so in the same way, the Lord became the spiritual master of Brahma, and he gave all the knowledge that is necessary. 9:27 and 28. अथाभिप्रेतम् अन्वीक्ष्य ब्रह्मणो मधुसूदनः विषण्ण चेतसं तेन कल्पव्यतिक्रमावशः लोकसंस्थानविज्ञान आत्मन परिकिद्यथ तम् आघा तम् आहागादया वाचा कश्मलं समयन्निव. The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing the illusion that had arisen. Okay. Purport: the devastating water was so fearful that even Brahma was perturbed at its appearance and became very anxious about how to situate the different planetary systems in outer space to accommodate the different kinds of living entities, such as the human beings, those lower than the human beings, and the superhuman beings. All the planets in the universe are situated according to the different grades of living entities under the influence of modes of material nature. So here, we can understand the Brahma's anxiety. Brahma is seeing that how to start the begin the construction. So the water of devastation is still roaring, and very very high raised waves are coming and things like that. It's quite difficult to make a universal construction amongst such a chaotic environment, right? So Brahma is anxious. His seva after the creation is after the primary creation is the secondary creation, that is to create all the various planetary systems and then fill them with the population. But then there is no scope for beginning the service because the waters of devastation are like so chaotically disturbing. So that's why he offered this wonderful prayers to the Lord so that he may be allowed to start his service. Okay. And these various planetary systems that Brahma is going to create, they are all residents for people of various modes of nature. Just like we have slums areas and we have high-rise buildings in some places, and there are people who are richy rich, they live in some community, and there are people who are middle class, they live in some place and things like that. In the same way, based on our karma, based on our punya and things like that, so different planetary systems are also made, right? So like people who have got very great levels of punya, so they are given chance to live in the higher planetary systems. And we are in the middle planetary system, and there are lower planetary systems are also there. Okay. There are three modes of material nature, and when they are mixed with one another, they become nine. When the nine are mixed, they become 81, 9 into 9, and the 81 become mixed, and thus we ultimately do not know how the delusion increases and increases. No, that means no, like we can make so much combinations of this goodness, passion, and ignorance. So 5% goodness, 20% no ignorance, and then like 75% like passion. No, that's one combination. You can see like n number of combinations we can make. So that's how this 84 lakh different species of life actually comes about by different combinations of modes of nature. Okay. Lord Brahma had to accommodate different places and situations for requisite bodies of the conditioned souls. The task was meant only for Brahma, and no one in the universe can ever understand how difficult it was. But by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to execute the tremendous task so perfectly that everyone is amazed to see the workmanship of the Vidhata or the regulator. Vidata, like people tell that, okay, it's all my karma, it is all because of this Vidata who's sending my karma. So it is so expertly arranged and so nicely coordinated that it never fails, karma never fails to work. It is all put into work by Lord Brahma. It is all by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Okay, text 29. So now we have the Supreme Lord speaking. Shri Bhagavan uvacha ma veda garbha gas tandrim sarga udyamamavaha tan maya phaditam hyarge yanmam prarthayate bhavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Purport. Any person authorized by either the Lord or by his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Right? So the moment we get the service of the Lord, then immediately we are blessed also to execute the service of the Lord. Right? Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as the subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplic succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. So here we see that no, as as the service is passed down from the Supreme Lord down in the parampara, and then it has been divided, and then we are getting to do some service of the Lord. So the service comes from the Lord. In the same way, whatever success that comes in the part as part of the service should be offered back, to our superiors, and in that way, like, they will offer it back to the Supreme Lord, to their spiritual master and to their spiritual master. So in that way, the glory goes and reaches the Supreme Lord. The service comes from the Supreme Lord, and the glory of execution of that service, goes back to the Supreme Lord. Right? Okay. Text 30. Bhuyastvam tapa atishta vidyam chaiva madashrayam tabhyam antarhridi brahman lokan darshasya apavritan. O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. Okay, so here we see that Lord is telling that situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. So that means, like, before Brahma could able to understand his position, as he has come from the lotus that has come from the navel of the Supreme Lord. So he did penances, and now that he has understood his origin, and then to start his service, no, he was praying to the Lord, and again the Lord is telling you should situate yourself in penance and meditation. Right? So this is the, like, now we have, if we want to do something, get some things done, so we will get into the action, and then we will get things done, right? So but here we see in the Vedic idea or understanding is anything that has been asked of not to be done, immediately people will start doing penances and meditation on austerities, and they will start following a particular sadhana, and then, by the mercy of the Lord, they will be able to achieve something great. So now, we are like in the Kali Yuga, we have been trained that no, you should be of yourself, and you should try to understand things by yourself, and you should try to do everything by yourself, and everything, we are taught in that way. But then here we see that the moment anything is given, like any service is given, immediately we ask for the blessings of the Lord and the devotees, right? So that's the way of doing things. And we see that happening in the like here Brahma is Brahma is a very classic example where his service is given and his capacity is given, and but still he offers prayers, to the Lord, and he always situates himself in the mode of penance and austerity. And we have a number of examples. So in the matter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, when the Chaitanya Charitamrita was to be written, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was personally ordered by his spiritual master, and then he was ordered by the devotees, and the Lord Madan Mohan gave his blessings by offering a garland to him. And even then, he went to every single devotee and he was asking for the blessings that I'm going to write a great book on the narrations of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and no, please bless me, and things like that. So he was personally ordered by the Supreme Lord himself, no Madan Mohan. So, and but still, like, he was like that he felt to be a very important thing. So in that way, like, we always should seek the blessings and mercy of the devotees on the Lord, so that we can do our devotional service nicely, right? So that's the way of Krishna consciousness. Purport: the mercy of the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing the responsible work entrusted upon him is beyond imagination. Know how much mercy the Lord will give if we engage in devotional service, it's beyond imagination. But his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance in executing devotional service. Brahma was entrusted with the work of creating the planetary systems. The Lord instructed him that when he meditated, he would very easily know where and how the planetary systems must be arranged. The directions were to come from within, and there was no necessity for anxieties in that task. Such instructions of Buddhi Yoga are directly imparted by the Lord from within, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. So this we can see that like, why is Krishna mentioning, or why is no Vishnu mentioning to Brahma that he should be situated in penance and meditation? Because the Lord is going to direct from within, and if he is not if he is not tuned up to the Lord, then he will miss the communication, right? So he has to be tuned up to the Lord, and for that it is very important that we that he always remain in the penance and meditation. Even for us, if we are tuned up to spiritual consciousness, if we are tuned up by hearing the messages of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and if we are tuned up to the sound vibration of the holy name, so and the instructions of the scriptures, so then we can get instructions from the Lord within, and if we are going wrong, we will get instructions from outside also, right? Text 31. तत आत्मनि लोके च भक्ति युक्त समाहितः द्रष्टासि मां ततं ब्रह्मन् मयि लोकांस्तत्त्वं मयि लोकांस्त्वम् आत्मनः. Okay. O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service, in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe, and you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me. Purport: it is cited herein by the Lord that during his daytime, Brahma would see him as Lord Sri Krishna. He would appreciate how the Lord expanded himself into all the calves during his childhood at Vrindavan. He would know how Yashoda Mai saw all the universes and planetary systems within the mouth of Krishna during his playful childhood pastimes. And he would also see that there are millions and billions of Brahmas during the presence of Lord Krishna in Brahma's daytime. But all these manifestations of the Lord appearing everywhere in his eternal transcendental forms cannot be understood by anyone but the pure devotees who are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord and are fully absorbed in the Lord. The high qualification of Brahma are also indicated herein. So it is nice that Brahma is going to get the personal darshan of the Supreme Lord. So when the Lord appears, just 5,000 years before in Vrindavan, so when Lord appears as Sri Krishna, so Brahma get to see all these various things, all the various pastimes that is mentioned here. So Brahma could able to see that the Lord expand into so many calves and cowherd boys. So Brahma steals of all the calves and cowherd boys, and then no, the Lord expands into each and every one of them. And then how when Krishna eats mud, Yashoda Maya asks him to show the mouth, and Krishna shows, opens up his mouth, and then Yashoda Maya sees that so many universes are there, within the mouth of Lord Krishna. And then no, there are millions and no, there are millions of Brahmas during the appearance of Lord Krishna. So this is also very nice. Once Brahma went to Dwaraka to have an audience with Krishna, and he asked the doorkeeper to allow him inside, and then the doorkeeper went inside, and then he asked the Supreme Lord that no, Brahma has come, and Lord asked, no, which Brahma has come, and the doorkeeper came back and asked, like, no, the Lord is asking for your identity, which Brahma you are. And Brahma told, I am the only one, no, who else is there, Brahma? So then then when he goes inside, the Lord summons all the other Brahmas of all the other universes, and so many Brahmas they come, and each having different kinds of different numbers of heads, and according to the complexity of the universe. And our four-headed Brahma is the smallest of all. Our universe is the smallest of all universes. So in this way, Brahma is supposed to see these very wonderful leelas of the Lord, and these leelas of the Lord are only possible to see by the pure devotees, who are fully engaged in devotional service of the Lord. And that is how highly qualified Lord Brahma is. He could able to get the personal audience of the Lord, and he could able to see know the Lord's various pastimes, wonderful pastimes. Okay, so we will stop here for today's discussion. Thank you all for joining in for this Bhagavatam study, and we will continue to do this every day. And our Kartik month is going to end in next 2 days. So let's do this now, like today and tomorrow, and let's take maximum advantage and do more devotional service to the Lord, and the Lord will be very very pleased, with all of you for this wonderful devotional service that is rendered. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.